Hey family, hi witches. Look, I got some energy. Last night I just got this burst of energy, so I was able to get a video out, a few videos and stuff. So if you hadn't watched them yet, please go and check them out. They were like some good old chaos. A little bit of creative chaos is good sometimes. And so if you want a little bit of drama and chaos, go back and watch those the last few videos that I did last night. Mama was on fire. As you all can see, Mama got some of her paintings in the background with one of her paintings. And you all have seen this one. This is one of the paintings that I painted back in 2004. That's when I painted that painting. And a lot of you all have seen it. It's a shame. I have to show the same painting over and over again, which I have done tons of paintings since then, but I can't show them because, you just got too many sharks out there. One shark in particular in Atlanta, Georgia, and you know who you are. You know who you are, okay? A famous painter out there. Everything I paint, this particular person goes and paints his version of it. See, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these famous artists, you see their work and you're like, wow, he's amazing. He's the best. I like the way he do this and he does that with his style, and he's one of a kind. But a lot of them, honestly, copy their work from people like myself, unknown artists. This particular artist, if I put some work out, the first thing he does is rush to his canvas and he paints something similar to that. You see, and it's not really fair to the unknown artists that these people are gobbling up their style. So maybe one day you may have your work out and people may come to you, you see, the unknown artist, and say, hey, your work look like such and such and such. Are you copying off such and such and such? But in fact, it's the opposite, you see. So that's why I have to keep my art under lock and key. Now, you all saw one of my Facebook statuses where I talked about this particular local artist in Atlanta that's famous. The fact that this man, has gotten to the point, some of his art, you understand? I know he has been in my home. Okay? Yes, you can hire a private investigator to go in people's houses, to spy on them, and to wiretap their phones. Okay? And in this case, that's what I know is happening. This person has hired a private investigator to come inside my house. You understand? This is just how desperate this artist is to get my work, that he would go to such an extent. Well, he can afford a PI. My neighbor, she said the next time she sees something like that, she's going to call the police over here immediately. And I'm going to press charges. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to press charges on this person. So, I'm just putting that alert out there. I'm giving you the warning right now, so you'll know. And I know you watch every single one of my videos. You live, okay, to watch my videos. There's a lot of people that come here to just copy your style, the way you talk, the way you dress. You got any ideas like the dolls and the paintings and stuff. They need ideas. They don't have their own. You see. That's why I know for sure that I'm an introvert, which a lot of people think introverts, they think an introverted person, that's a negative term, just using that label or whatever. But, the introverted people, which I don't mind saying I'm an introvert, we're the ones that go within to bring from within what's within us, you see. So my creativity comes from within me, from the spirits, from the universe within myself. And I share that with the world. So you will not catch me. Well, sometimes you may, depending on what spirit's in me. You rarely will catch me in a large crowd of people because it drains me. See, an extrovert is a person that gets their energy from the outside and bring it within. And see, so these people are more or less more charged up, extroverted people because they're getting their energy from the outside. So these are the people that will find it at a lot of different social gatherings and different functions. And these are the people, you understand, that live for the for they live for being they live for being social butterflies. I don't know how to put it. They're more or less the social butterflies, if you ask me. I don't know, maybe that's not the right term. But I know they're very sociable people because they enjoy lots of they just they enjoy lots of conversation, and these are the people that don't have trouble with meeting new people and having lots of friends. The extroverted people. I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all correct me. But a huge function of people, you know, maybe just standing on a podium or something and giving a lecture or something like that, they wouldn't have a problem with that, because they're extroverted. An introvert, however, wouldn't be in a situation to be around too many people because it's tiring. Okay, so I said all of this to say this. So the introverted people are far more private and are far more creative. Now y'all might get mad. Y'all might not agree with that. But we're very creative people, and most of us, in a sense, are like recluses, hermits, because we don't want to be around all of that noise and stuff. To me, it's a distraction. So I always show my old art when I'm in the mood to show my creativity. I'll show my old art because I'm not going to put my new paintings, which now I'm no longer doing acrylics. I'm doing oil paintings now. So I'm really excited. I'm looking at one of them now. I'm really excited about my oil paintings now because the spirits are sharing so much with me of the past, the ancestors, showing me how they used to live, how they used to cook and how they used to bathe and, all of the different parties they had, late night parties and, how what type of transportation they had, how they got around from one time period to the next. And that's what I'm focusing on. The hobo is going to be one of my new subject pieces, and maybe that'll give you a heads up to this particular painter in Atlanta. Maybe you give you a head start. Y'all, I used to have artwork in Atlanta, Georgia, because I used to live in Atlanta, and there was this particular gallery, and I know you watching too, the gallery owner. I had trouble with him too. He ran off with most of my work and my money. But and I had to pull out of that because, these paintings are my babies and I'm not gonna let anybody treat them any kind of a way. It's hard enough as an artist, and most of you painters and artists, you know what I'm talking about. It's hard enough, parting with these paintings when people are paying for them. Let alone, you got somebody robbing you. Like a painting like this painting is old now, old for me, because this is like some of my earlier work. A painting like this right here would probably cost you it's going to cost you some money. I mean, I wouldn't even try to sell this old piece. I would sell copies of this depending on what size it is. A copy may just run you without a a frame on it, it may just cost you about $50 or more, depending on what size you want. I don't think I'll ever in my life sell another original. At one time a painting like this was going for $1,800 for the original. That's not even any money. When I go back and think about all of the paintings I've sold, I started selling my artwork in 2002. And when some of those pieces, I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, highway robbery, a little 11 by 12 selling for $150. There is no way I would ever do anything like that. Because I have like hundreds of paintings out there, hundreds, and people just got a good deal on them. I won't say it was a steal because I welcomed it, and to all of the people who are on my artwork, I know you may not be watching because those people like that. Those people, well, now some of them may be watching. I don't want to rate it by how much we paid for the art. I wouldn't want to trash anybody that paid $150 for 11 by 12 and say, hey, look, you're a person that, would watch YouTube, but the person who may have paid about $1,000 for a painting is a person that's busy working and making money on their own business. I wouldn't want to say anything like that because that wouldn't be fair. But I just don't think that the people who purchased my work would be watching YouTube. I see right now that YouTube is a place that's more or less some people think it's a joke. So, when people say, oh, you on YouTube, it's getting to be kind of like silly. When I first came here, YouTube was a big deal, but now it's almost like a joke. For real, that's what people tell me. But so I know these people are not listening to me right now, but I have a lot of work out there, and these people have the work for a little nothing. But if I'm going to take my art career to the next level, I cannot put my brand out there, you understand, and charge peanuts for it. Because when you put your brand out there and you charge peanuts for it, people really don't take it serious, and people don't have respect for it, People respect those things that they really have to pay for. I noticed that. But I wanted to just talk about that because I know it's a lot of artists out there, and I want to promote the new site that I have coming up for all of the witches and wizards and warlocks, all of you supernatural, spiritual people who are creative, whether you do jewelry, clay, you're a painter, you're a sculptor, you're an iron worker, you work with precious metals or metals, period. If you're a gardener, and your canvas is the earth, I'd love to have a place for you all, and I know a lot of you all expressed interest, and I hadn't gotten the site up yet because I'm trying to upload a painting, or I tell you what, I can take a submission. If you would like to submit one of your arts and be one of the first to actually make a cover photo for the new Facebook group, and if you all would like to suggest a name for our new creative group, please do so. Y'all decide whether y'all want it to be a closed group or if you want it to be a public group. Okay. And you can inbox me on Facebook, some ideas if you'd like to. I'm looking for y'all already know I'm looking for an admin. I want this to be a very functional site, a very professional site. When I say professional, no drama, nothing of that nature. What I hope to do is make it a site. Like if you decide you do want it to be a public site, a place where we can market, and if you'd like to, put your work up for sale, we can put it up for sale. Now, I already know the sharks is running to get their ideas out there first. That's another thing about being introverted. Most people feed off the introverted people because we have some wonderful ideas. Believe it or not, we're very talented. And our ideas and stuff, you just cannot resist it. That's, I'm a landscaper. So, hey, landscapers, come on out. Landscaping is art. So I will go out and I love to go out and arrange different trees. I like to have a tree or a plant that blooms year round. That's an art too in itself, So I like to paint the landscape, you know, in my yard, you know. And so that tree, there's a tree that blooms year round. The only time the trees are not blooming is, I think, right in the dead of winter, which would probably be around December and January. But from then on, there is a tree that blooms every single month from then on. I think in February and January, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, the camellia blooms, and I want to make sure that when I get out in the swamps, because I'm heading out to the swamps, that I have a tree that blooms, plenty of camellias for the winter months, because around that time you can find flowers that will bloom, and that's the pansy. So the pansy will bloom then, but you have to keep them wet, and no one wants to get out when it's cold and water pansies. I don't like that. One thing about the pansy, it'll bloom in the winter, but it dies out in the dead of summer. It can't handle heat. So you got to really come up with a plant that's going to do something at its particular season. So February to March, sometimes in January, that camellia. I've left all off the art, but still this is art. January, February, we may get that camellia to bloom, and it's that tree that have those big, huge, beautiful pink flowers on it. Actually, I think the camellia is the state flower for Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Each state got its own flower. That's another thing. I'm gonna go straight to Facebook, and for every last one of you all who want to participate in the virtual coven with this, I'm gonna make a post. Represent your state flower for your state. You can put a picture or image up in the coven. Spiritually Naima is the name of the coven. It's on Facebook, NYEMMA. And I heard you, the lady out there on Facebook. She said you ought to just, just list it, and you don't have to keep repeating it and everything. Good suggestion, but I used to do it that way. But it's just something new. I like to say it because sometimes people are just not reading. So just me saying it from my mouth, I find is very effective. And so I'm gonna make that Facebook status, and every last one of you all who are in the group, I want you to rep your state flower and put an image there if you don't mind. We have a lot of fun out there and a lot of interaction. There's a lot of network going on. There are a lot of other extensions to the Coven, and we meet some wonderful people out there. Okay, I've made some wonderful imaginary friends out there. Okay, so January to February to maybe, I'm going to stop right there. That camellia is blooming, beautiful blooms, red, pink, and white. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that, and don't y'all try it now, I think they said that white flower, you can eat it. And the leaves, they're edible. You can make teas out of them. From February to March, you have a variety of trees that bloom. A variety, because I put on a huge show. The azalea is the champion. A lot of you all may disagree, but I'm really fascinated with azaleas because they come in peach, an array of colors, red, white. I even seen a lavender one. And and you can get encores. The regular azalea would just bloom February, March, April, and then stop. But the encore, especially a high quality encore azalea, will just bloom all seasons. I got it a couple years ago, and it just bloomed every month, and I just never seen anything like that. This month it didn't do it. It only bloomed one time. Maybe because it's been droughty, but then I have another one that decided that it wants to bloom, every month. And I think it's in heat. Maybe the azalea is in heat. But so they switch. So I have a ton of azaleas in my yard. And like now, but now a regular encore would just bloom the fall and the spring. That's it. But you got some that are happy azaleas that will bloom every month except the winter months. It won't do that. I don't think it will. And you got your, I don't want to leave any out, but I can't think of any more. And I've made this video so long about landscaping. You have your, it's just, it's so too many to name. Uh, Wigzalias, I may be wrong. They kind of look like the azaleas. A lot of your trees that are like apple trees, pear trees will bloom. You know, your pomegranates will bloom around this time. And then you got your summer plants like the Rose of Sharon. I have 2 Rose of Sharons out there that started blooming a wee bit early. There's an old almond out, or old hoodoo wives' tale, that if a flower blooms out of season, that's not good. I have like a lot of in my home, a lot of Christmas cactuses, and some of those Christmas cactuses that I have will actually bloom way before Christmas. They may way well after November, December, January, February. I had one to bloom in March. Even had an Easter cactus that started blooming way ahead of time and bloomed pretty much after year. So, you know, maybe it's an old wives' tale. I don't know how valid that is, but I have flowers that just bloom whenever they get good and ready. Because Mama talked to her flowers. I talk to my trees, my landscape, and I treat them just like they're my babies. Now, don't drive by here and say, Mama, what are you talking about? These things look dead. Because some things, you know, they die because they're just like us, you know. They've completed their life cycle. But I always replace plants that die with new plants. I have a couple of them that died back right when the season started in the springtime. And I should have replaced them then, but in the dead of summer, you cannot plant anything. Like right now in August, you can't plant anything. There are times you can't plant plants, and that's in the dead of winter and the dead of summer. I'm hoping that when I get out to that rural setting, that I can get out in the garden and interact with with the with the land, with you all, and the animals, because I hope to get a couple of goats and they even want one donkey, and you know I got the dogs and stuff. So I'm hoping to get out there and get into the permaculture community. Okay, so that's why I came here. I just wanted to discuss the art because right now I'm going to be waiting on you all to inbox me at our virtual coven, or inbox me at my email or what have you. I'm spirittree41 at yahoo.com. You can come there too and send me, you know, any photos, any suggestions that you have. Any photo that you send me is going to be welcome on I don't care if it's nudity, I don't care what it is. It is welcome in the group, okay? It can be anything. Here lately, I'm going to be painting some very gruesome paintings. I mean, like blood dripping, curdling paintings. Okay, so if you don't have an open mind and you get offended fast, then I suggest that you go and look for another group. It may not be the group for you. Having large amounts of people in this group is not that important to me, but having quality people in the group, quantity does not matter. Quality does. Okay, so if you're a person that you know you just cannot handle it, don't come, because I'm going to be putting some paintings of some murder scenes and some death scenes on canvas, because I'm fascinated with demons and death and autopsies. I just sit down and watch autopsies and stuff because I do have a very dark side of me as well as a light side. It's just depending on the spirits. Some of these spirits, they want blood. They want to eat flesh. The spirits that come within me. And some of them are so lovable and kind and motherly. because you all know I'm a psychic medium and many spirits come within me. So it's no telling, you may get a woman that's carrying flowers one moment and feeding the animals with me, to all the way to someone with a knife just stabbing somebody to death, And that's what I love about art. One, I would say this man is the top of my most loved and favorited artist, and he is deceased right now. And I had a wonderful opportunity to purchase one of his paintings, but I didn't win the bid. But I bid it on one of his pieces. You all, most of you all who know me well, know I love Beck Zinsky, Zebek Zinsky. And the reason why I say Z, because I cannot pronounce his first name. Bekzinski is my favorite. I'm going to try to spell it. If you want to look him up, if you want to Google him or YouTube him, I'm not quite sure how to spell it. Beksk. Oh, no, Sinky. Bekzinski. Z. Bekzinski. His work is phenomenal. If you want to know what I see a lot of the times on a couple of my astral travels, his work explains it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone to many astroscapes, some that look just like this. I've even gone to some that are so colorful, they look like cartoon and fantasy, like, to some of the most gruesome places like Bekzinski's, desolated landscapes like Bekzinski's, where there is absolutely nothing but a hard ground with no plants, no trees, nothing but absolute ruins. When I went to, it was just one, the ground was so hard and cracked. It never rains, and there was one little tiny cacti, and it had a little yellow flower on it, but the ground around it was cracked. Okay, Sharks, go ahead and start painting that. Okay, I know I got some wonderful ideas. And this is not just for YouTube and the internet. It's just everywhere I go. Everybody around me, all of my neighbors are painting. Painting their homes the same color. I paint mine, and even doing the landscape like mine. So it doesn't faze me at all. This is my life, who I am outside of YouTube. That's why I hope to go to the rural setting where, my neighbor is kind of like, I know I got a neighbor, but it's not like this neighbor is like, a conjoined twin or anything like that, And so I'm used to it. That's an idea for you. I have a lot of authors that say, hey, Mom, you just inspired my new book. And I am very grateful that I have come to this planet, and what I have brought from my womb have fed so many people, creative ideas and stuff like that. And so that means I live. Not only do I live within my own work, because when I'm dead and gone, my art will continue to exist. It will continue to be an extension to me, and will be handed down from generation to generation, no matter who owns my work and where you are. I'm honored that I made an impression. A lot of people watching it is probably like saying, "Oh, bull crap." I don't expect the people who don't like me to understand me, but I do expect that people who, themselves own my work, and those people who I have inspired, realize that, I am honored that you all are here to, pay me some attention. It means a lot to me that you all have thought enough of me to come out to watch the video for whatever reason, whether it's negative, positive, only you know why you are here. So anyways, I had a friend of mine back when I was going through some depression, and, I do share, not everything is positive about me. A lot of people don't like to bring, any of their problems or issues that they have in their life to YouTube, especially psychics. We have to be real strong, but I'm still human too, So if I had some experiences, bad experiences in the psychic businesses and stuff like that, in the psychic business, I'm sorry. I'm gonna share it. I just want you all to know this is not all roses, and that everything you do and everything you say, you know what I'm saying, it echoes straight out into the universe and comes back to you. It magnifies itself. So I want you all to know that. That's why I had to pull out of a lot of the things that I was getting engaged in that was just a little bit too far out there, because wherever you take your brand, you understand that brand represents you. You are proud of people, that are low lives, and they projected you within their crowd or whatever. You have to be really careful with where you take your brand, especially what a sector of YouTube you take your brand, where you decide to, exhaust your energy into it. It really can hurt and disturb what you got going on. I'm not really interested in too much of a reputation, but just where the universe sees you at the moment, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, because wherever the universe sees you at, it's going to give you more of that. So I want to find myself in a prosperous place for the remainder of 2015 and beyond. Because if I'm finding myself in a prosperous place, in a prosperous group around prosperous people, then guess what? That will resonate, and I will, continue to attract more. You understand? Prosperity is my mission from here on. So like I said, I think this place will be a wonderful place for people who are looking to, because there are a lot of artists that are out there and they don't have a platform and no one to see the work or whatever. Mustafa, if you watching, come on, Mustafa, and put your work in my new group. You do some amazing iron work. And I want to put all of this and incorporate all of this into this group, and people who don't have an outlet to show your work, this will be a great place for you to be able to show your work, discuss your work with other people who are artists. In addition to that, I want to do some marketing. You should be able to put your artwork up there free of charge and sell your artwork. I don't know, you may do candles. Your art may just be something else, selling candles, selling oils. Only you know what you love to do. Dolls or whatever. Have us a nice little marketing place. How about that? But let's just start showing the art, see what it does, and then from then on, we can go from there. What about we got to get a name? I think I want the name to center around something geared towards conjure or hoodoo or something. You all come up with a name. We're gonna all get together and come up with a name for this new site, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to submit some names, because I want this to be a joint group effort. Okay, not anything that I'm just doing myself. I want my family to choose this name. Okay. Anyways, that completes this video, and please subscribe. Okay.